Brothers and sisters of the African continent, friends from across the world, welcome once again to Chronicle Updates, the channel where Africa's light shines brightly and where the stories of progress, resilience, and unity take center stage. Today, we bring you a remarkable moment unfolding in Burkina Faso, a story that speaks not only to the heart of a nation, but to the aspirations of an entire continent. On the 12th of September, 2025, President Captain Ibrahim Traoré once again put action behind his words of development, handing over an impressive 764 machines of different categories to the Faso Mêbo Presidential Initiative. These machines are not simply tools of construction. They are symbols of determination, hope, and the will of a people to build their own future with their own hands. They are meant to empower brigades in the regions of Yaadga, Koulsé, Goulmou, and Bankui, regions that are waiting to be transformed through collective labor and community engagement. As the president handed over the keys, his words echoed with humility and strength. Congratulations for what has already been done. I am giving you this second batch, hoping that the third will not be long in coming. Make good use of them. May God bless those who use these machines on your sites. These are not just ceremonial remarks. They carry within them the philosophy of a leader who insists that development is not for a few, but for all. At the heart of this initiative lies a powerful message. True and lasting infrastructure cannot simply be built with machines and money alone. For infrastructure to endure, it must be maintained, protected, and cherished by the very people who use it. President Traoré was clear. There are no infrastructures, no matter how well designed and executed, that will last over time if they are not maintained by the popular masses. And for them to be maintained by the popular masses, they must be involved in the design and implementation of these infrastructures. This statement is more than a reminder. It is a principle of governance. Across Africa, we have witnessed projects rise with great fanfare only to fall into disrepair because the people who were supposed to benefit were never fully involved. Roads crumble, bridges weaken, schools lose their roofs, and hospitals deteriorate when the community feels detached from them. What Burkina Faso is trying to change through Faso Mêbo is this culture of passivity, by placing the people at the center of the process. To ensure this vision reaches every corner, the president called upon regional governors to carry the message home, to explain and simplify the initiative for ordinary citizens. He insisted that governors must not only administrate from their offices, but must walk with the people, guiding them and motivating them to participate actively. In his words, they should lead the people to voluntarily get involved themselves in building our infrastructures. This is where the story of Faso Mêbo takes a uniquely African character. It is not just about contracts and paperwork. It is about hands in the soil, sweat on the forehead, and a community that can proudly point to a road or a school and say, "We built this." Such ownership guarantees preservation. When people are involved from start to finish, they do not see the project as belonging to the government alone. They see it as theirs. To strengthen this framework, President Traoré also gave a firm order to the Minister of Infrastructure, Adama Luke Sorgo, to provide the technical expertise required. Engineers, technicians, and regional directors are to walk hand in hand with the Faso Mêbo brigades, ensuring that quality is never compromised. His directive was clear and unambiguous. It has to work. This moment was also symbolic because it was the second handover of equipment since March 27th earlier this year. The continuation shows that Faso Mêbo is not a one-time initiative, but a structured, ongoing program with clear objectives. Receiving the equipment, the national coordinator of the initiative pledged to execute the president's vision swiftly and faithfully. His commitment reflects the urgency with which the nation is approaching infrastructure. not as a distant dream, but as a present necessity. Let us pause here, brothers and sisters, and reflect on what this means for Burkina Faso and for Africa. The provision of 764 machines may appear, on the surface, as a simple act of equipping brigades. But beneath it lies a larger story, the reawakening of African self-reliance. For decades, too many of our projects were either dictated by foreign interests or left unfinished because of weak community ownership. Now, Burkina Faso is signaling a new chapter where the people themselves are the heartbeat of transformation. Think of what this means for the youth. In villages and towns across the country, young men and women will have the opportunity to learn new skills, to work on construction brigades, and to see the fruits of their labor in the form of roads, schools, and community centers. It means jobs, dignity, and above all, a belief that development is not imported but homegrown. For the farmers, better roads mean easier transport of goods to markets, less post-harvest loss, and stronger local economies. For children, it means schools that are more accessible and safer to reach. For patients in rural areas, it means hospitals and health centers that can be reached quickly during emergencies. Infrastructure, after all, is not just cement and steel. It is the foundation upon which education, health, and prosperity rest. Burkina Faso's approach also resonates with Africa's broader vision of integration and development. The African Union's Agenda 2063 speaks of the Africa we want, an Africa that builds its own future with its own resources, guided by its own people. Initiatives like Faso Mêbo show that this vision is not abstract. It is being put into action at the grassroots level. Of course, challenges remain. Machines alone do not guarantee success. There must be discipline, transparency, and accountability in how they are used. Maintenance of the equipment is as important as the projects they will serve. Training the brigades to handle them responsibly is essential. And perhaps, most importantly, sustaining the enthusiasm of the people will determine the long-term impact of the program. But the direction is clear. With every batch of equipment handed over, with every brigade mobilized, Burkina Faso is taking one more step toward reshaping its infrastructure story. This is not just about roads or buildings. It is about national pride and collective strength. As we conclude this reflection, one cannot help but admire the simplicity and power of President Traoré's message. Development is not a gift handed down. It is a collective effort lifted up. When people are involved, when their voices are heard, when their hands build, then the projects will stand the test of time. Brothers and sisters, Africa is watching. Burkina Faso's example is a reminder that our continent's greatest resource is not gold, oil, or diamonds. It is the people themselves, their will, their energy, their unity. With initiatives like Faso Mêbo, we see how a government and its people can come together to carve out a path of self-reliance. May this spirit spread across Africa. May we continue to build not only roads and bridges, but also trust, unity, and pride. And may every brick laid, every road paved, and every machine put to work become a testimony that Africa is not waiting for tomorrow. Africa is building today. Thank you for watching Chronicle Updates. If you believe in the vision of Africans shaping their own future, kindly like this video so that YouTube recommends it to more people who care about our continent's growth. Share it with others who should hear this story of hope and progress. Together, we will continue to amplify the voice of Africa, louder and stronger than ever.